Hi, I'm Christine with Usborne Books and More, and I'm going to share with you some board books. But I'm going to caution you because you might think, oh, board books, that's for babies and toddlers. But you're going to see I'm going to share with you some books for older children too in the genre of board books. So the first one really is for babies, and this is a brand new series that we offer. This is Baby's very first stroller books, and this is animals. And I love that the pages are at different heights so that with their little fine motor skills that they are still developing, they can get these pages turned. That's a really nice feature, but it's not my favorite feature. My favorite feature is, a lot of these books will go into babies' mouths and they're going to teeth on them and they're going to slobber on them. And this has Velcro that you can take it off, and you can throw this part into the washing machine. You can take a damp cloth and wipe off the pages, and then the next time that you go out, you can put it back together through that slot, and it'll be like new. The next series that I'm going to share with you, you will probably be already familiar with. They're so popular, and I know many of you have already gotten these for baby shower gifts, and for your own children, or maybe you've given them as baby shower gifts. That's Not Mine. If you're familiar with this series, you know that they can read That's Not Mine, and this is a lion, that's not my lion. His ears are too soft, and they can touch the ears and get involved with books that way. And then the next page, this one's a scratchy one. That's not my lion. His paws are too rough. These are not only for tiny babies, because as a child gets a little bit older, this can grow up with them. And you can see that mouse is hiding. He's in every page of every book that is in the series That's Not Mine. So that's kind of fun. As they grow up, then you can point that out. They might even pick up on it on their own. Oh, let's find that little mouse on each page. So my children, when they were young, they even learned how to read with this book, because they would become familiar with the that's not my part, that's not my lion, and then I would read its tail is too fluffy. So they would read, and we would point to the words one at a time. That's not my lion. And that's actually a pre-reading skill, becoming familiar with where the words are on the page. So those can grow up with your children too. Animal Hide and Seek is another almost classic book, and it's in our Farmyard Tales series. Those are all illustrated by Stephen Cartwright, but it's also another touchy-feely book, and with different textures. This one has more than one texture on a page, so these little cow spots you can touch, and the dog you can touch, and the little tops of the hens. And this book, because it is illustrated by Stephen Cartwright, has a duck that you can find. He put a duck in every illustration that he did, so you can find the duck. And one thing that I really like about this book too, in addition to the touchy-feely, in addition to the flaps that you can lift, I have some moms that tell me that their child might be a little bit rough with books. Now, I already mentioned my children. They're teenagers now, but this was their personal copy when they were children. And one thing I like to show moms, I don't do this with every book that we show, but this in particular, if you have a child that's really rough on books, but you still want them to get to know and love books, you can show, I like to show you that these are very sturdy. And I've done this a number of times with this book. So this would be a good book to give to a child that is pretty rough with books, and then from there teach them how to treat books. How many of you have children who love Band-Aids? I had a nephew who was really fond of Band-Aids, and he could go through the whole box of Band-Aids in a heartbeat. So this is all better. This is a brand new book, unlike some of the other ones that you saw. Some of those are classics. This is a brand new book, and it has 5 bandages that you can take off the pages. They're really thick too. They're plasticky and sticky. And here's the dog. Each bandage matches a character in the story. And this one says, oh no, dog wasn't looking where he was going. Ouch! Clean it, kiss it, put a bandage on it, all better. So he gets the dog bandage, and then we move on to the monkey, and we put a Band-Aid on him. But that's kind of good. The Band-Aids can be reused over and over again, and that way you can save your Band-Aids that are for people for the people. And you can use the other Band-Aids in the book. This is my very first space book. This is a new series that we have. And now we're getting into some of our board books that are for older children. So this is still you can see the pages are kind of, they're not as thick as the Animal Hide and Seek that I showed you, but they are thicker for maybe a preschooler or an elementary school child. You can see that the information in here about space is not babyish, so This is meant for a little bit older child, but they're nice, still nice and sturdy, and they're going to last. That's all about space. And then we have our Lift the Flap books. This is a Lift the Flap picture atlas, so you can open it up, and inside the flap, so that here we have a globe, and inside there is more information to learn. Here we have, in the United States of America, we play baseball home run. So I love that our flaps, when you lift the flap, there's more things that you find. There's secrets. That happens to be the Lift the Flap Picture Atlas. There's also a Lift the Flap art book, but a ton. Again, this is a whole series, so depending on what your child's interests are, you could just look up Lift the Flap books and you'll come up with a variety. And again, these have nice thick pages. Art book. And then for an even older child, or even maybe for an adult who loves the wars and history. So this is See Inside the First World War, but we have See Inside on other topics too. So you could do a search for that. But here we have the trenches of World War I. And these flaps aren't lifted yet, so I'm going to keep them down. But you can see that there are different flaps on the pages, and just like I showed you before, there will be more information. Oh, here's one that's already open. So here is the Red Baron, and then when you lift it, you can find out that there were other planes like the Red Baron. So those are a little bit about our board books. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.